Let's start with AI Radar, where we break down the biggest headlines and updates from the world's leading AI players. Think of it as your quick fire pulse check on what's hot in AI this week. So, I guess what's hot is public benefit corporations. Tell us about it.
Public benefit corporations, absolutely. So OpenAI has reversed course this week on its controversial plan to convert to a for-profit. They're going to shift their for-profit entity to a public benefit corporation, which, for those who are not as familiar with the public benefit corporation, is sort of a structure that has a set of stakeholders for whose benefit they are being run that are broader than just shareholders. And companies like Anthropic and Patagonia, as we mentioned, are kind of pretty famous public benefit corporations. But the nonprofit will maintain its major shareholder status and governance role over the new public benefit corporation. So no longer going to give up the nonprofit designation and control. So a little shift in strategy here from OpenAI.
Yeah, shift in strategy for sure. Why now and not before? Or what do you think was the motivation?
I never want to get inside Sam Altman's head. I mean, I don't think I can, and I'm not sure I want to live in whatever's in there. But I think between Elon Musk not happy even with this shift, I think a lot of pressure from Microsoft on the switch in structure because it really implicates profit sharing for all the investments Microsoft has made. A lot of former staff coming out claiming that they would not have participated in OpenAI if they knew it was going to be a for-profit. And there's been a lot of pushback on this plan. So it seems like they are attempting to thread the needle between providing the right amount of return for the people who've invested and not totally giving up on the vision that a lot of people had earlier, profit status. So a lot of pressure on them. And I think they kind of cave a little bit.
All right. Well, makes sense.
All right, well, let's keep it moving. We've got a few model announcements this week, so we'll start off with some of those. NVIDIA just open sourced Parakeet V2. I love the name. It's fun. It's whimsical. Parakeet V2, a very fast automatic speech recognition model that can transcribe an hour of audio in just 1 second with commercial grade accuracy. That's fast.
That's pretty fast. This is pretty exciting because I think that even 5 or 6 years ago, voice to text transcriptions were just so horrendously bad. So seeing this be able to be so accurate so fast is pretty cool. And I think there's a lot of different use cases that people will find value from actually monitoring their calls, listening to feedback from their customers, all sorts of things that I think are going to get unlocked with this.
Absolutely. And it's only 600 million parameters. It's a very powerful model, but lightweight enough to be used pretty broadly on some consumer grade hardware. I don't think phones yet, but it's not a huge model. So that really opens up the possibilities for where it can be. So pretty exciting to see this kind of development. And interesting to see NVIDIA continuing not only to be the major hardware player, but an open source foundational model provider. Interesting role for them to play in the ecosystem.
For sure, this is the second story in only a month or so where we're seeing NVIDIA invest in less of the hardware. So this is pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, in the vein of players in interesting areas, we got a French company in the news with a new model as well. The Europeans not known for their groundbreaking model development, but French startup Mistral dropped its new Medium 3 model. Not as good as Parakeet. We got to get naming is just not as good. Claiming benchmark parity with Claude Sonnet 3.7, GPT 4.0, and Llama 4.0 Maverick at 1/8 the cost. So it's a closed model for now, but it seems to be pretty high performing on a lot of the benchmarks. A lot of debates about if the benchmarks are the right way to measure. And they also announced that their LeChat Enterprise, I still love that name, LeChat.
Let's chat.
LeChat Enterprise adds Google Drive and SharePoint integration, support for private clouds and on-premises deployment, and tooling built in for custom agent deployment. So some pretty interesting stuff coming from a European AI startup.
Yeah, definitely. I love their this is digresses from the model, but I love their little Le Chat cat because those who don't know, that's how you say cat in French also. But the cat logo is very cute and I think well branded. But the model branding is maybe not so good because their models are literally small, medium, and then they've hinted that large will be coming.
Large.
So yeah, so they have great name for their Le Chat, but maybe not
We should
so
go
great a
tall,
name on their
grande, and
models.
venti. We get
Yeah,
it. So
exactly. Yeah,
always
and strong emphasis here on the data privacy, because obviously this is a European developed model, so, I think it'll be pretty attractive for some of the regulated industries.
yeah, particularly regulated industries in the European Union who maybe are nervous
Mhm.
about data coming to the US. All right, the last foundation model kind of update for this week. Google dropped an early preview version of Gemini 2.5 Pro, IO edition. IO being, of course, the large developer conference Google runs every year, which is typically where they would announce such a thing. But they announced it before IO and took the #1 spot across both Web Dev Arena and the LM Arena benchmarks area. So it seems to be kind of top of the line model, and just fascinating to me that they released it before the conference, what they normally announce. It makes me wonder, what's coming at I/O? Like, what's they clearly they have other things they want to announce. They didn't spoil their biggest announcements. This one wasn't somehow didn't make the biggest announcement list. So fascinating to see that coming out early.
Yeah, for sure. Their announcement was, it almost like brimmed over with excitement. Like, we're so excited to get this in the hands of developers that we're releasing it a couple weeks early so that people can start making use of it. But you're right. I think maybe it just, they have so much other exciting stuff coming up that they couldn't fit it all in. And so that's why they pre released one.
The model is not the most interesting. So for those who are interested, it seems to be very good at front end and developer support. So a lot of coding, more agentic coding workflows, kind of multi-step. They had a video to app feature where people are showing a video of what they want their app to do, and then it'll like write and code the app for you based on the kind of wireframe video of you saying, "Here's what I want my app to do." Just fascinating. So
That
very
was
developer
incredibly
focused.
cool.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that, and it not only, helped develop the app, but it would also develop training modules about how to use it and quizzes and stuff like that, and I haven't seen any other company have some similar type of functionality, but I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, it's Gemini has always been. I was just talking to someone before we started recording about how Gemini is one of the best models and the worst products, and they've just never managed to like turn that Gemini model into really compelling products. But if you're a developer or able to access at the foundational level, it's a really cool model, and these are really meaningful additions to the capabilities of that model.
Yeah, very cool.